Lieutenant, what is our status?
Sir, we're just about ready to engage the cooling units and other modifications to our life support systems. We should be able to drop the ambient temperature by about 10 degrees. It won't be much given it's already gone up more than that, but it should give us some more time for a rescue. At least until the power gives out.
Very good.
Doctor, forgive me for saying so, but we haven't seen any miners or colonists since we've arrived. Just these pubescent soldiers and their disruptor rifles.
Aside from the ages of the soldiers, I concur with your assessment.
But even the buildings, I haven't seen anything resembling a single-family home. It's all collective housing and support facilities.
Again, I must concur. However, investigating the nature of this colony is not our concern at this time. In combination with the protection the TARP is providing in terms of thermal and radiation exposure, I believe we have a 4-hour window for rescue.
Now we just need a ship to rescue us.
Well, let's hope the coal got out in one piece and warned Starfleet.
Or the Home Guard.
Sub-Lieutenant.
How are my troops?
We have been able to tend to the wounds caused by the disruptor fire they encountered. However, they are beginning to show secondary signs of respiratory distress and neuromuscular impairment.
The gas?
Quite possibly. Aside from the increases in temperature and UV radiation, that is the only other element at play.
And it's beginning to affect those that weren't already injured.
Centurion.
Centurion Talaran of the Kelleron 6 Militia. And you are?
Dr. Vanis of the Federation runabout Nightingale. Lieutenant Miranda and Acting Recruit Salon.
Excellent. I have wounded troops here.
If they'll follow me, I'll get them into the triage area.
Sub-Lieutenant, I relieve you.
I am relieved. Sir, have you seen any more of our troops?
Yes. We were on the right flank of the simulated forces when we were attacked. Returning here, we found the bulk of our troops. Unfortunately, most of them were dead. The Tholians were quite efficient. The remainder came with us.
Only 150 or so? Out of 5,000?
I'm afraid so, Sub-Lieutenant.
Your surmise would appear to be correct.
That's what I was afraid of.
Hidden Frontier Productions presents Henglaar, M.D. Starring John Whiting as Dr. Henglaar. Timothy Fritz as Dr. Lucas Noah. Jeannie Lynn as Dr. Vanis. Mark Samarius as Dr. Profdo. And Evan Wall as Silan. Created by Eric Weaver. Episode 201 Prime. Graduation, Director's Edition. Story by Mark Painter and David W. Hill. Audio play written and directed by David W. Hill.
Ship's log supplemental. We have just successfully towed the Thetis just outside the Kelleron system. An engineering team is continuing to assist that ship's crew in getting their system back online. In the meantime, we're attempting to contact Starfleet to advise them of our situation.
End log.
Captain, the Agincourt is acknowledging our hail on a secure channel.
On screen.
Report, Captain.
Sir, we've been forced to abandon the Kelleron system and those personnel who are planetside participating in the exercise.
What? Who has the system right now?
The Tholians, sir. Specifically, 6 ships under an Admiral Kelkeen of the 3rd Orthogonal Fleet.
Kelkeen? That bastard. Damn. Kelkeen was responsible for leading an assault on a convoy in the old Briar Patch during the latter days of the Tholian-Breen conflict. He's responsible for thousands of casualties. He's also the reason there's a ship named after Admiral Cole.
I see. I had no idea.
There's no reason you would. Starfleet intelligence only found out a few months ago. He's quite the capable commander. He's also wanted for war crimes for his actions during that incident. Destroying escape pods is a violation of the Seldonis 4 conventions, you know.
We're still here because I reminded him of his obligations under Seldonis.
Interesting that he'd be concerned about that bit of protocol now. What's the disposition of the squadron?
We blocked a shot aimed at the durable. She got out of the system unharmed. Nostromo and Phidippides withdrew after taking moderate damage, and we just finished towing Thetis out of the system. Her starboard nacelle is damaged beyond repair, and her impulse drive is down. But we've got a good team trying to bring her back online now.
What about T'Pau? Or the Romulans, for that matter?
One of Relic's interceptors was investigating a Tholian distress signal in the system's Oort cloud, and went silent. Captain Tier went looking for it, and also went quiet. Best we can figure out? Both ships were ambushed before the attack on the colony.
What about the rest of the 13th Fleet?
They cloaked just before the Tholians opened fire.
I see. I'm ordering the 23rd back to your position immediately. We can have the whole wing there in 5 hours.
Sir, the Romulans and my teams on the planet don't have that kind of time. The Tholians took out the solar shield. The temperature and radiation levels are already rising. If we have to wait that long, all we're going to be able to do is give them a bloody nose for killing our people.
I'm not going to order a hospital ship into a combat zone, Captain. Especially when it's outnumbered 6-1.
Sir, our board is clear. Our key medical personnel are planetside, and there are undoubtedly casualties on that planet. You don't have to order us into a combat zone, sir. You just have to not order us not to go back.
What was that, Cole? Your signal is breaking up. It must be Tholian interference. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Mackay out.
What was that all about?
Captain's discretion.
I see.
You will, someday. Chief Lindquist, do we have any Class 5 probes aboard?
One, sir. Not much call for him in our line of work.
Well, that much is certain.
I want that probe on its way to Kelleron 6 within 5 minutes. Low orbit surveillance. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on down there.
Aye, aye, sir.
Commander, call a senior staff meeting in 10 minutes. I'll be in my ready room.
Aye, sir.
Our engineers should have picked a better site for our observation post.
The height not agreeing with you, Sub-Commander?
Not so much the distance as the heat.
I can't argue with that. It is getting a bit warm. As for the long walk, well... Myra did tell me I needed more cardiovascular exercise.
Who is Myra?
Never mind. As your attending physician, I dare say you could use some more exercise yourself.
I'll take that under advisement. Perhaps we should try contacting your teams again.
Oh, very well. Henglaar to Nightingale.
Nightingale, Vaughn is here.
What's your status, Doctor?
The ship has been disabled, but the team is intact. We have set up our relief station and are currently engaged in triage on 157 Romulan militia members.
No colonists?
None since our arrival.
I see. We're seeing what appears to be a sparkling gas cloud spreading from the colony. What's that about?
Unknown. It appears to have been part of the attack on the colony. It may also explain some of the symptoms our patients are experiencing.
What kind of symptoms?
Respiratory distress and slow heart rate. Signs of neuromuscular impairment. Much more than can be explained by the increases in temperature and ultraviolet radiation we have experienced. I am treating our patients with atropine for the time being. My patients continue to deteriorate.
Sounds like you're doing the best you can with the symptoms. Have you been able to analyze the gas at all?
No. Our sensors, tricorders, and communications are barely functioning in this environment.
Ever heard of a Tholian weapon like that?
No.
Okay, Vaunus, I'm going to contact the Barton and see if they can help you in analyzing this. Sub-Commander Nonia and I are on our way to you, but we're still about 90 minutes from your location. In the meantime, continue at your discretion.
Understood. Nightingale out.
Henglaar to Barton.
Barton, Noah here.
All quiet on the Western Front, Lucas?
You could say that. We can't raise either the Nightingale or the Solar Shield Station.
We're much closer to the colony than you are. I just spoke to Dr. Vaunus. Her team's got over 150 Romulans to tend to, and some sort of gas giving her and her patients a real headache.
What kind of gas?
If I knew that, we wouldn't be chatting. If you're done tending to your sunburn, can you beam a sample from the colony for analysis?
Won't using the transporter give our location away?
He has a point.
It's a risk we have to take, Brofto. What the hell's the point of being safe if we can't help anyone? We're doctors.
So does he.
Attempting to log onto a sample now. Sir, we are unable to log onto a sample. Our targeting scanners are still going crazy trying to read anything in that region.
Damn. Hold tight until I contact you. Henglaar out.
Your people still seem to be of no help whatsoever.
For now, we just need to get them a sample of this pixie dust or whatever it is floating around. Come, Sub-Commander. Our exercise awaits.
Any success bringing the auxiliary power online?
None at all. It would appear that whoever attacked us was very efficient at taking out all power running to this facility.
I see. Your scent is becoming even worse. Are you well?
As well as can be expected for a Sunday dinner. How are you handling the heat?
All my people are used to a warmer environment than yours. It is starting to have an adverse effect. What of your human luck? Have you been able to develop a plan to save our lives?
Well, I did have a thought. While they took out the fusion reactor and the auxiliary generator, it looks like the power distribution system is still intact. Those relays over there, they didn't blow out when whoever it was attacked us.
And how does that help us?
Well, it suggests that if power were fed back into the system, the solar shield could come back online. But that's assuming whoever attacked us didn't take out the satellites as well.
The technology behind the shield is similar to that of our cloaking device. It would require tremendous power to operate it.
Yes, Rulok, I get that much. How much power?
It would require roughly half the power output of a destroyer-class starship. So, your plan involves our being rescued.
Exactly. Then using the rescue ship to power the shield.
It could work, assuming a ship gets here in time. Let us hope we can toast your planned success with a glass of my Romulan ale.
I could live with that.
As you can see, the Tholians have taken up a classic hexagonal defensive posture around the planet. They appear to be guarding it, probably in advance of ground forces landing to take control.
What about the planet itself?
That's becoming harder to tell, sir. What we can be certain of is that the temperature has risen 15 degrees since we departed. That suggests a rate of about 10 degrees per hour. Ultraviolet radiation is showing a similar rate of increase.
Based on this data, how long do our people have, Chief?
3 hours, 4 at the outside.
Damn. Any idea on the status of the settlement or our people?
That's where things get hazy, sir. Literally. There is some sort of phenomenon centered on the settlement that appears to be interfering with our sensors. It's following the wind patterns in the area, growing both in size and intensity at the same time.
That's where the Nightingale was supposed to set up its medical station.
Yeah, but they were attacked. Who knows what shape Vonus and her team are in? What about the rest of our people?
The Barton appears to be safe where it landed, with all hands. The observation post appears to have been abandoned, with 2 life signs heading towards the settlement. The solar shield station had its reactor damaged, but is otherwise intact. Our crew appear to be safe there for the moment as well.
Yeah, but not for long.
The Tholians have destroyed the probe, sir.
Low observability coding's my ass.
Yeah. The T'Pol and the 13th Fleet appear to be out of the picture, at least for the moment. So it's up to us. The 23rd won't make it here before our people die. We need to even the odds.
A diversion.
Exactly. Get the Tholians out of position long enough for us to get into orbit, rescue our people, and get the hell out of Dodge.
Dodge, sir?
I'll tell you later. All right, everyone. I think we're done here. All hands, this is the captain. As you know, we had to leave some of our crew, as well as our Romulan allies, back on Kelleron 6. As Starfleet cannot provide us assistance in time, we are preparing to undertake a rescue mission. I know the last thing any of us expected was to deliberately take this ship into a combat situation, much less with 6-to-1 odds. Unfortunately, we're left with no alternative. Rest assured, our comrades on the planet would risk themselves in the same way if we were in danger. This ship was named after a woman who exemplified what Starfleet and the Federation stand for. I have no doubt that you will do her namesake proud in the coming battle. All hands, battle stations.
Nice speech, sir.
Thanks. Been saving that one up for a special occasion. Now, could someone turn off that damn noise? Thank you. Mr. Vix, what's the closest you've ever flown to a planet at warp?
Sir?
What I want to do is take us from about here, just inside the Oort cloud, to the planet. Right over the settlement at about 1,000 kilometers. At warp.
Sir, aside from the precision flying, you do know how dangerous it is to engage at warp while within a solar system, don't you?
I do, Lieutenant. Can you handle it?
Yes, sir. I believe I can.
Good man. Just don't scuff the paint. Cato hates EVA repairs.
Yes, sir.
Land the course, Mr. Vix.
Aye, aye, sir.
Mr. Davies, hail the Thetis.
Yes, sir.
Captain Seletic, what's your status?
Your engineering teams have restored our propulsion systems. We are preparing to depart and should rendezvous with Starfleet in approximately 2.98 hours.
I'm glad to hear that. Unfortunately, I'm afraid I'm going to have to borrow the Thetis for a little while. Prepare to abandon ship.
Captain?
I don't have time to explain, and I don't care to over an open channel. Prepare to abandon ship.
Can you?
That's an order, Lieutenant Commander. Karsten out. Initiate emergency transports and coordinate the evacuation of the Thetis, including any materiel we can store in our cargo bays. Have Mr. Seletic meet me in my ready room once he's aboard.
Aye, sir.
Computer, access the command console of the USS Thetis, NCC 50879er, prefix code 90361 Omega, authorization code Costin 0204 Alpha.
Interlink established with Thetis main computer. Prefix code and remote command authorization accepted. Thetis now under computer control.
Even for a Vulcan, he's not gonna be happy with you.
Luckily, I outranked the guy. You said it yourself. We need a diversion.
I did say that, didn't I?
Nightingale. Miranda here.
Please get Dr. Vonis for me.
No need, Lieutenant. Vaughn is here.
Dr. Vonis, how are you holding up?
Our patients are beginning to deteriorate markedly between the effects of the heat, radiation, and the gas. I estimate we will begin seeing fatalities within the next 90 minutes.
And your team?
We are beginning to suffer the same effects.
Our power and life support systems are also under strain, given we're trying to cool the triage area and maintain basic medical operations. Auxiliary power will be exhausted in a little over 2 hours.
Is it safe to assume that you've been following standard procedure regarding the keeping of medical records on your patients?
Of course.
Good. Any chance you can transmit those to me?
I doubt you'd get the data intact, sir, given the interference we're experiencing.
Okay. Is my wayward niece there somewhere?
Yes, Doctor. Treating patients in the triage area. I'll tie her in.
Ceylon here. Is that you, Uncle?
Of course it is. I need you to bring me a copy of the medical record you've been keeping, along with a sample of that gas if you can manage it.
We're swamped here. Why does it have to be me?
Because I want to see that cheerful smile of yours. You're young, healthy, and can get here quickly. It shouldn't be too strenuous for you, but far enough from the colony where the Martin can beam the samples out for analysis.
Damn it, Henglaar. They need me here.
It's about 2 kilometers up the path to the observation post, Salan. We don't have time to argue. Get here. Now. Henglaar out.
Mr. VX, is our course laid in?
Yes, sir. 355 Mach 007. Warp 1 at your command.
Commander, are we ready?
Yes, sir. With one exception.
What's that?
You haven't unlocked the phaser safeties yet.
Not yet. Not until we need to. As long as we're still officially a non-combatant, that gives us some leeway.
As you say, sir.
Thetis is approaching the coordinates, Captain. Distance approximately 2 million kilometers.
Great. Okay, computer. Priority 1 order to the Thetis. Should any hostile Tholian vessel approach within 25,000 kilometers, the Thetis will immediately implement Starfleet Order 2005. Authorization code, Karsten, 0204 Alpha.
Remote priority command accepted by Thetis.
Mr. VX, you've got control of both ships now. Whenever you're ready.
Aye, sir. Autopilot program accepted. Thetis to warp speed in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sir, the magneton pulse was generated as expected. Any ship within half a light year is going to detect it.
Good. Linquist, keep an eye on the Thetis' sensors.
Sir, the Thetis has just come out of warp and is heading towards Kalaran 6 at impulse.
2 Tholian ships have broken from their formation and are approaching at full impulse, ETA 30 seconds.
How long?
24 seconds. Mark?
Mr. VX, stand by.
Sir, the Tholians are hailing, ordering her to stand to and prepare to be boarded.
15 seconds.
Stand by.
The Tholians are arming their weapons. Sensor lock on confirmed. 8 seconds.
Stand by. Engage.
No orbit achieved, sir. Altitude 990 kilometers.
Good job, Lieutenant. Chief, find my crew.
Call to Cato. Come in.
Cato here, sir. Are you in orbit?
Just now, and we can't hang around. You two get ready to beam out.
Captain, leave me behind.
Are you insane? This is no time to be a martyr. We can beam you both out of there.
I'm just doing my duty, Captain.
Sir, we have a plan to get the solar shield back online. We'll need Rulok here to manage the reboot of the system. I'll coordinate our end of it from engineering.
Very well.
Ready for transport. I'll see you soon, Rulok.
Sir, sensors confirm that the Thetis auto-destructed along with 2 of the Tholian craft. We now show 2 of the remaining craft approaching that location and 2 approaching ours. ETA 2.5 minutes.
Bridge to engineering. Ken, what's your plan?
Sir, we need to get the ship up to standard orbit first. Then aim the ship at the planet and we can use the deflector dish to transfer energy to the system. It's the only part of the ship that's designed to channel that much power. I just need a few more details from Rulok before we're ready to go.
Proceed. Let me know when you're ready. Bridge out. Mr. Vix, put us into standard orbit, then orient us towards the solar shield station.
Aye, sir.
Sir, we're receiving a hail from Admiral Kelkeen.
On screen.
Captain Carson, you have entered an exclusion zone as you were previously advised. If you do not depart immediately, we will take action to remove you against your will.
I doubt you'd fire on a hospital ship, but you're welcome to try, you son of a bitch. Close channel.
Rulok, can you reverse the polarity of the station's deflector shield so that it will receive energy as opposed to transmitting it?
I believe so. The portable generator you beamed down has allowed me to bring the control room back online.
Great. As soon as you've finished with that, I'll need to know the power frequency we need to transmit from here.
Acknowledged. It would appear that your human luck may just win the day. Perhaps we will be able to share my Romulan ale after all.
I say, we've earned it. You must have great parents.
Why would you say that?
They gave you Romulan ale as a graduation present. My family would never do anything like that. My family puts the fun in dysfunctional.
Perhaps that is because your family does not operate a brewery.
Meaning yours does?
For 7 generations. Our family's ale is arguably the best in the Empire.
So why did you leave them to join the Home Guard?
That is a complicated question.
Oh, meaning you don't want to talk about it.
Perhaps later. I have reversed the functioning of our deflector shield. I am transmitting our power frequency via my tricorder now.
Got it. Adjusting deflector harmonics, and we're done. Engineering to bridge. The deflector is online and the station is ready to receive power.
Good job, Ken. How much power is this going to take?
If we're going to keep the shields up, we'll have to keep the reactor at 100% to both power the station and protect ourselves. Anything more than that, Captain, and we're going to have to make some tough calls.
Okay, Ken. Make it happen.
Activating the deflector dish now.
The solar shield is back online.
Thank the gods.
Call to
Henglaar. Henglaar here. Stu, are you just visiting, or did you have a real reason for coming back?
You didn't think we'd leave you all down there to die, did you?
Not at all.
What's your status?
The Nightingale has its hands full with Romulan patients right now. Apparently the Tholians release some sort of gas that's causing respiratory and neuromuscular symptoms and wreaking havoc with their equipment.
What are you doing about it?
I'm waiting for Salon to bring me a sample so we can beam it over to the Barton for analysis. She's also bringing the patient data on this one so we can figure out what the hell we're dealing with. Speak of the devil and she shall appear. Hello, niece.
Hello, Uncle. Here's that stuff you wanted. Hey, the shield's back up.
You don't miss a trick, do you?
Henglaar.
I hate to interrupt the family reunion, but shouldn't we just bring you all up here so you can work on that here?
Stu, you remember what happened the last time something the Tholians cooked up was on your ship, don't you? For all we know, this stuff is worse.
Good point. Keep me posted on your progress. We'll do our best to keep that shield online in the meantime.
Please do. Henglaar out. Henglaar to Barton.
Barton, Shalev here.
Lieutenant, can you lock onto my position with your transporter?
Hold on. Affirmative, you're just outside the area of interference, although it is closing on your position.
Right. No time to waste. Walk onto the medical case just in front of me and beam it to your location.
Stand by. Transport successful.
Good. I'll transmit a copy of the medical data Fauna Center team collected in a moment. Have Noah and Profto get to work analyzing whatever the hell that pixie dust is.
Aren't you coming over too?
No, Profto. I'm staying here to coordinate everything. Remember, this is your final exam. You two wouldn't have gotten this far if you couldn't handle something like this on your own. Now get to work. Henglaar out. You two get back to the colony. They'll need all the help they can get, especially if Lucas and Profto figure out what that stuff is.
Shouldn't we stay here instead?
The needs of the many, Salon. I can talk to everyone that needs me from here. If I go back with you, I reduce my ability to help by at least half. And Faunus needs you more than I do right now.
Okay. Keep in touch, would you please?
Oh, go already. I'll be fine.
What's the phrase? Good luck?
That sounds about right.
Then good luck, Henglaar. To us all.
Agreed.
They're just sitting there?
Yes, sir?
What are they doing? Having a coffee clutch?
More or less, sir. We're picking up coded intership communications, but otherwise nothing. Wait a moment.
Are they doing what I think they're doing?
Yes, sir. They're beginning to spin a web.
Damn, Kelkin's pretty smart. If they're able to finish the web, they'll be able to tow us away, breaking our link to the solar shield and removing us from the system without firing a shot.
Chief, how soon before they finish?
I'd say about 15 minutes, sir. The process has improved over the years.
Just great.
Okay. The computer link up to the coal is complete. It looks like we have another crystalline substance at work here. Kind of like what we ran into a few weeks ago, but a totally different structure.
According to Vonus notes, the patients began experiencing symptoms within 30 minutes of exposure.
Respiratory distress, neuromuscular degeneration, pupillary contraction, nausea, and slow heart rate. Bonus has been treating with atropine, but it's only reducing the severity of the symptoms. Our patients are still dying.
I wonder. Computer, run a comparative analysis between our sensor records of temperature and radiation over the last 3 hours and the progression of the noted patient's symptoms over the same time frame.
Working.
Looks like you were right, Profto. The patient's respiration and neuromuscular function deteriorated as the temperature and radiation increased.
But what does that get us? At best, we have a causal relationship. We still don't know how this agent causes the symptoms or how to cure them.
You're right. We don't. You know what would happen if Vanus was here?
Yeah, she'd inject herself with it so she could study it under controlled conditions.
Exactly.
Oh no, don't even think about it, Lucas. You are not Vonus. You don't have her Vulcan metabolism, for one.
True. But she's not here. I am. And we need to figure this thing out. So unless one of you wants to volunteer... I didn't think so.
Injecting it is only half of the equation, Lucas. How are you going to simulate the temperature and radiation?
That's a good question. I'm a doctor, not an engineer. Lieutenant?
Sir?
Given our available equipment, how would you simulate the temperature and radiation that was outside?
Lucas, I can't say I'm in favor of the suicide mission, but if you insist... It looks like most of the radiation increase occurred in the higher bands of the EM spectrum, particularly ultraviolet radiation. It was within about 20% of reaching lethal levels before the shield went back online. If we secured the back cabin, replaced the emitter modules on the lights, and diverted auxiliary power to life support, we might get close to that level of heat and radiation, assuming we don't blow out the life support system in the process.
Get to it, Shalev. We don't have much time.
Yes, sir.
Crofto, do you think an environmental suit will protect someone in that environment?
Probably. They're sealed and designed for deep space EVAs. Why?
I want you in there to monitor my condition. You might be the only one who will be able to figure this out if I become disabled.
Okay, Lucas. I sure hope this works.
So do I.
Chief, how long until the Tholians complete their web?
Estimated completion in 3 minutes.
I'm open to suggestions, everyone. Bridge to engineering.
Engineering, Cato here.
Ken, any other ideas on disrupting this web?
Well, rotating shield mutation didn't work. If we weren't powering the station, we might be able to punch through with an anti-graviton beam from the deflector dish. Otherwise, short of opening fire... No, I don't, sir.
Ken, do we have enough power to fire up the phasers?
Yes, sir, but only enough for a couple of shots.
Okay. Things are about to get interesting. Just give me as much power as you can.
Will do, Captain. Cato out.
I was hoping I wouldn't have to do this. Computer, recognize Karsten Stewart J. Alpha 1 access.
Alpha 1 access confirmed.
Computer, the use of defensive weaponry is authorized.
Phaser safeties unlocked. Defensive weapons are now available.
Sir, as your first officer, I am obligated to remind you that arming our weapons renders us a combatant under the Soldonis IV conventions.
I hear ya. Computer, so note in the ship's log. Chief, wait until the last possible moment to energize the phaser coils and fire. Target them manually. It might buy us a few seconds. Aim for a web generator.
Aye, sir. Sir, we're reading another magneton pulse. Incoming vessel at warp. It's the T-POW!
It's about damn time.
Sir, they fired on one of the Tholian ships and taken out its web generator. Moderate damage to engines.
Chief, fire on the other ship.
Firing phasers. Direct hit, sir. Their web generator is offline. Minor damage to their shield grid.
Good. Fire at any target of opportunity. Focus on weapons and engines. Divert power from forward to aft shields. We're a sit and duck while we're powering that station. Davies, get me the T'Pol.
On screen, sir.
Tyr, where the hell have you been?
Ambushed by the Tholians. It was a sticky situation.
How'd you get out of it?
I'll tell you later. I'll try to keep these bastards off your back.
Thanks, Ryger.
Sir, both Tholian ships show moderate damage, but they're hammering the T-POW. Your shields are down by half and the warp drive just went offline. The two ships that were investigating the Thetis are also heading back. ETA 90 seconds.
Damn. That's what we get for stirring up the hornet's nest.
What do we do now, sir?
I'd say it's your turn to think of something.
Sir, I am no tactician.
Sir, a Romulan warbird decloaking off the port stern, behind the approaching Tholians.
Commander, I like the way you think.
The Tholians. Their idea of valor in combat is to pick on a hospital ship and an 80-year-old cruiser. Let's show them what real combat feels like. Fire at will.
Yes, Commander.
down, sir. The other is continuing in our direction. The Daedalus is firing, but not having as much success. The Tholian has more of a lead on her. Minor damage only.
What about T'Pau?
Not well, sir. She's only got partial shielding and her port nasal is venting drive plasma. A few more direct hits and she'll be done for.
Damn. Anything we can do, Chief?
No, sir. Not if we're going to keep the solar shield going. The Tholians are focusing on the T'Pau and the Daedalus for the moment, out of our effective range.
Sir, I'm receiving a message from the Agincourt. In the clear.
On screen.
Attention Tholian vessels. This is Fleet Captain David McKay of the Federation starship Agincourt. You are ordered to withdraw from the Kelleron system, or we will open fire upon our arrival. You have 5 minutes to comply.
Chief?
Confirmed, sir. Sensors show the Agincourt and the Ikari approaching at high warp. ETA 4 minutes, 30 seconds.
Finally!
Sir, reading coded intership among the remaining Tholians.
Captain, the Tholians appear to be breaking off their attack.
What's their range?
3 million kilometers and increasing rapidly. Full impulse. They're on a parabolic course out of the system and appear to be preparing for warp.
Thank goodness. Commander, drop shields and stand down from red alert. Bridge to engineering.
Engineering, Cato here.
Ken, the Tholians are withdrawing. How are we doing with the power transfer?
Well, Captain, we're going to need a new deflector dish at the end of the day, but I think we can keep this up long enough for someone to relieve us.
Right now, it's all about relief. Ken, I want you to get an engineering team over to T'Pau pronto. She took a beating and will need our help until the Archimedes returns. Coordinate with the XO.
I'm on it, sir. What about the planet?
We've got to hope that Henglaar can find a treatment for that agent the Tholians dropped on our people. Commander, take us to Blue Alert and prepare for mass casualty. Have all departments render priority assistance to Henglaar's team.
Aye, sir.
How long has it been, Profdo?
You've been in here for 10 minutes.
And?
You're showing generalized neuromuscular degeneration and respiratory distress.
How much I could have told you myself. Anything from the scanners?
Nothing specific. It's creating interference that's covering its tracks.
We're running out of time. What if we turn up the heat and radiation?
You're already pushing the limits of what your body can take.
And getting nowhere. We've got to figure out the mechanism this substance uses to cause its symptoms.
All right, Lucas, but only for a few minutes. Then I'm pulling the plug.
Okay.
Shelev, increase the power by 10%.
What? Are you crazy?
5 minutes, Shelev, then you can turn it off. We're not getting any usable data at these levels.
Okay, Doctor. 5 minutes.
Oh. Oh, boy.
That seems to be doing something.
What's that?
The increase in temperature and radiation is improving the readings. Well, first of all, it appears that the thermal and ultraviolet radiation is being translated into a disruptive field. That probably also explains why no one can get a clear scan. You're showing high synaptic levels of acetylcholine and inactivation of acetylcholinesterase. That explains why the atropine is helping relieve symptoms, but not curing them.
So this is all worth it?
It might be, Lucas. Now we just need to figure out how to neutralize the disruptive effect.
Yet... Casey...
Shalev, cut the generators!
Yes, sir. And we've just been contacted by the Pulse. The Tholians are leaving orbit. The rest of the 23rd is returning.
Oh, thank goodness. Is it T'Pau up there?
Yes, sir, but they're in pretty bad shape.
I don't care. Get Dr. Casey Daniels down here, now.
Profdo, how's Lucas?
Not good. He's been unconscious for the last 8 minutes. I can't seem to bring him out of it.
According to the data you sent me, there's a disruptive effect being created by the heat and UV radiation.
That's right. What we can figure out is how to block it.
Let me take a look here. Okay, there. See that? Even in the presence of normal radiation and temperature, it's still having a minor effect.
So, we'll need to administer something to neutralize the effect of the radiation.
Exactly. Try 10 cc's of netrazine. It should be broad-based enough.
Right. Here we go. Anything?
Just a moment. There we go. It looks like the reduction in radiation is neutralizing the disruptive effect.
Profto to Henglaar.
Henglaar here. It's about time you called me, Profto. Even with the shield backup, we're running out of time.
Sure. I've got Dr. Daniels here with me. We need to administer Nutrazine to those affected.
Netrazine? So there was a reason behind the Tholians taking out the solar shield after all.
Yes. This agent only works in the presence of high temperatures and UV radiation. More of both, the greater the effect. The Nutrazine should neutralize it in our people long enough to beam people off the planet. As long as we set the biofilters to filter the substance out, that should eliminate it completely from their systems.
You'll need to follow that up with a neuroregeneration regime. Based on the data I've seen, Alkazine should do the trick. We'll know better once we get everyone out of this environment.
Glad to have you with us, Dr. Daniels.
Happy to help, Dr. Henglaar.
If you two are talking to me, that begs the question, where's Dr. Noah? He's not off getting another sunburn, is he?
No, sir. He administered the agent on himself so that we could track the progression of the symptoms directly. He's unconscious. The atropine hasn't been effective.
Profto, get the Barton back to the coal. I'll coordinate efforts here.
Yes, sir. Profto out.
Oh God, Profto, look at this. How much of the agent did he take in?
It looks like 250 cc's.
He's showing more than twice the concentration in his tissues than Vonus's patients.
He did that to make the effect more pronounced so we could study it, along with a higher level of temperature and radiation than what was experienced here on the planet.
Damn. We've got to get him to the coal. Now.
Profto to Cole.
Cole, Mayo here.
Commander, we're transmitting the specifications on this agent and how it can be neutralized via the transporter's biofilter. Henglaar will be coordinating the evacuation of the planet, but we need you to beam Dr. Noah directly to quarantine in sickbay. Now.
Stand by, Barton. Programming biofilters now.
Come on!
Biofilter program's complete. Initiating site-to-site transport.
Shalev, get us out of here!
Gladly.
We've made him as comfortable as we can.
He does not have much time left.
What about neuroregenerative therapy? Surely there must have been some effect.
Barely any. We used a combination of alkazine, synaptazine, and pralidoxine. We were able to stabilize his remaining synaptic functions and wake him, but the damage to the affected synapses is just too great.
What about ribosome therapy, or...
His nervous system is past the point where ribosome therapy would be effective.
Have you considered putting him in cryogenic stasis?
We haven't had the opportunity.
Profto had just gone through the last of the seemingly viable options when I arrived from the transporter room.
Putting him in stasis doesn't resolve the underlying issue. It just delays the inevitable. This starship has medical facilities as good as any starbase. If we haven't been able to stabilize his condition...
No one can.
You know, it's rude to talk about someone like they're not here. By the look on Casey's face, I take it you have bad news.
Lucas, we have been unable to repair the cellular damage caused by the agent or stabilize your condition further. I'm sorry.
We were just discussing whether we should put you into stasis until a treatment can be developed.
What do you think? That's what I thought. No. I know you've all done your best. But if you can't do it, no one can.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Lucas.
Anytime. So, did I pass?
The exam? Not at all.
What?
You never had a chance to take it. You, all of you, passed a much sterner test. The medical equivalent of the Kobayashi Maru. You were thrown into a no-win scenario. You did your duty, worked as a team. As a result, there are over 150 people that owe you their lives.
Thank you, Henglaar. It's probably the nicest thing I've ever heard you say to us.
Don't let it go to your head.
I won't. It's been an honor to serve with you. With all of you.
As it has been with you, Lucas.
Vaunus, Profto.
Damn it, Lucas. Why did you do it?
Because no one else could. Because there were too many lives at stake. You told me once that love was supposed to make someone a better person. When I first came here, I probably wouldn't have. I was too selfish, too broken-hearted. Since we last saw each other. You were right. You were right about me. I'm so sorry.
It's all right, Lucas. It's all right.
I love you, Casey.
I love you too, Lucas.
Come on, Casey.
Damn it.
Captain, we're approaching Kelleron 6.
Thank you, Ian.
We're being hailed by the D-Daleks.
On screen.
Master Russell. I'm glad to see you made it out of the system in one piece.
We were lucky. If it weren't for the cold taking that shot for us, we might not be here right now.
Yes, Captain Karsten acquitted himself well in both battles. Most impressive for a hospital ship. You have my apologies for placing your ship in harm's way. I never intended for anything like this to occur.
No apologies needed, Commander. Risk is part of the business. Your cargo is intact. What do you want done with it?
Having beamed our emergency supplies to the planet, we should have sufficient cargo capacity. Coordinate the transfer with my second officer.
Will do. That just leaves the small matter of my payment.
Of course. I have several choice trading permits to give you. Time is of the essence, however. My contacts in the Home Guard tell me that a number of merchant ships will be entering those sectors in the next few weeks.
Trust me, after today, I'll be happy to put some distance between me and this system.
As soon as the cargo transfer is complete, I'll see that the permits are transmitted to you.
Excellent. Thank you, Commander.
I assure you, Master Russell, the pleasure is all mine.
Ian, see to the transfer. I'll be in my office. I should send Henglaar a message before I go warping off into the Romulan frontier.
Yes, ma'am.
Computer, begin recording message. Well, Henglaar, from what I hear, you and your team saved the day again. While I was running with my tail tucked between my legs, I had a few thoughts I wanted to share with you.
Sub-Commander, I have a message here that you might want to see.
Interesting. And you're sure the Cole didn't receive it at all?
No, sir. With the communications relay out, their captain asked us to relay it to the Cole. She seemed in a bit of a hurry to leave.
No doubt. Hold this message in the queue until I can show it to the commander.
Yes, Sub-Commander.
Gentlemen, Commander, there's my report on this incident.
So we don't spend the next hour reading, why don't you give us the summary?
All right. What we dealt with is the Tholian equivalent of a binary nerve agent. Think Saren or Theragon. On its own, it's not terribly effective. The average temperature ranges and UV radiation levels on a regular Class M world don't provide it enough energy to do much more than serve as an irritant. But when combined with higher temperatures and radiation, it becomes a potentially lethal means of disrupting the neuromuscular function of most humanoids. Over 150 of our people can testify to that much.
That explains why the Tholians took out the solar shield. If they didn't, they wouldn't have a means of driving our forces off the planet.
But why would the Tholians design such an agent? Surely there are more effective means of inflicting damage on personnel?
Normally, there would be. Even a standard nerve agent like Theragon works in a matter of minutes. This would suggest that this agent is mission-specific. It would only work in situations where there was a Class M planet that could have its environment quickly altered to power it. Tell me, Commander, what classification was this planet before the Empire built the solar shield?
I believe your classification scheme would make it Class F.
Class F? Geometallic?
I thought as much. That explains the presence of all those substances you were hoping to mine. Before the Romulans came along, this planet would have been a perfect spot for the Tholians to colonize. Tell me, Commander, how are your relations with the Tholians these days?
What are you driving at, Henglaar?
I think the Tholians did want to colonize this planet. I think you beat them to it and established this colony, which at the moment looks suspiciously like a military base to me. As we all know, the Tholians tend to get cranky when they need to defend something they think is theirs.
What you or the Tholians think is unimportant.
Is it now? Aside from the strategic materials it holds, this system is key to the defense of the frontier side of this sector. That's why Starfleet agreed to the Empire's request that this exercise be held here in the first place.
And?
All of the pieces start to fit now. A planet in dispute. Knowing the Tholians, if they had a legitimate claim to the planet, they would have given you a specific date to evacuate or face the consequences. I'm willing to bet that date would have been yesterday.
Why yesterday?
Because that's when they attacked. That's also when the Electro was scheduled to dock at Unity Station.
Oh god. You're telling me that the Tholian pathogen you stopped was part of a coordinated action?
Yes. Had the Electra's first officer not opened that cargo container mid-flight, it would have arrived at Unity Station early yesterday morning, a few hours before we were attacked. One thing you have to give the Tholians credit for is punctuality. They probably had this operation scheduled to the hour. Think about it. Allied resources would have been diverted to respond to a medical emergency at the Federation's only starbase in Romulan territory. This exercise would certainly have been cancelled. All that would have been there were the colonists and their solar shield.
Even assuming we would have heard about an attack, by the time we got here to respond,
everybody would be dead, or those that survived would have evacuated. The Tholians take the planet.
I believe that answers your question about why Kelkeen was so insistent on adhering to the Seldonis conventions, at least when it came to Federation ships.
Sir?
Either they didn't find out about the Electra opening its cargo early, or they did and decided to proceed anyway. When they found Starfleet vessels in orbit, they had to change tactics. Drive us off, certainly, but not destroy our ships like they did the Romulan Interceptor. They wouldn't want to risk war with both the Federation and the Romulans.
Of course not. The last time they tried, we cleaned their chronometers. You forgot Tepellic's first rule of warfare, Commander. Know your enemy. Your calculation that they wouldn't attack with Starfleet in orbit had one flaw. That's what a Romulan would do. The Tholians are far more ruthless in such matters.
This is all fascinating speculation, gentlemen, but that's all it is. Pointless speculation. You have no proof of any of this.
True, but the available facts do fit the theory, so unless you have some different facts to share, I'll be having a little chat with Commodore Shelby. I'm sure she'll find this almost fascinating.
Why bother with this, Captain? Was any harm really done here? We each lost one ship. One ship. Our casualties planetside were minimal. Surely we can move past all of this nonsense in the interests of our alliance.
Casualties planetside were minimal. Over 5,000 dead. That might be minimal to you, you son of a...
Bridge to conference room.
Carson here. Can this wait, Ensign? We're in the middle of a meeting.
I don't think so, sir. We're receiving a Priority 1 communique for Fleet Captain McKay from the Excelsior.
Transfer it to my pad if you please.
Aye, sir.
Well, gentlemen, it would appear that the Archeans have returned.
Oh no.
What? Where?
Sector 441.
Baku?
Precisely. It would appear that Deep Space 12 and Baku have both been captured. The 12th Fleet was out of position at the time, took major losses attempting to repel the initial invasion. It also appears more Archean ships are arriving as we speak.
I thought the Archons were aiming for the Beta Quadrant. That's why we're here, after all.
Something seems to have changed. At any rate, Starfleet's tactical focus has. The 23rd, along with about 2/3 of the Starfleet presence here in Romulan space, is being recalled to the Alpha Quadrant. We're to leave as soon as our work is done here, with the 13th Fleet providing us escort to the border. The training program has been suspended by Starfleet Medical. You're on the Col, along with the rest of us, to provide support near the new front line.
Great. A long, boring cruise back to the Alpha Quadrant, followed by death and destruction. What could possibly be better?
Attention to orders.
Thank you, Chief. Stand easy. Thank you for coming here this afternoon. I know this cannot be an easy time for any of you, much has happened in the past few days. We are present today to recognize service above and beyond the call of duty, and to remember one who gave his life so that others might live. First, Doctors Henglaar, Vonus, Daniels, and Profdo. In recognition of your efforts in finding and delivering a cure for the Tholian nerve agent while under multiple threats, Starfleet Command is proud to present you each with a citation for conspicuous gallantry. For Dr. Henglaar, this is his 5th award and thus is presented with a silver cluster. Next, Lieutenant Miranda and Shelev, and acting recruit Seelan. In recognition of your actions in support of the medical teams on Kelleron 6, Starfleet Command is proud to present you with its Medal of Commendation. Also, in discussing her recent service aboard the Cole with Starfleet Medical, they have agreed to admit Seelan into the next available slot in the nursing training program. In the meantime, she will be continuing her nursing education here aboard the Cole. Next, Commander Karsten, Lieutenant Commander Mio, Lieutenant Vix, and Chief Petty Officer Lindquist step forward. In recognition of their efforts, the command crew aboard the Cole during the Kelleron 6 incident, except those standing before us today, have all received medals of commendation. To these 4, who were instrumental in devising and executing the strategy that drove off the Tholians, giving time to those on the planet to develop a cure, Starfleet Command is proud to present them with this Award for Valor. One does not normally wish to take a hospital ship into a battle situation. These are ships that rarely, if ever, serve on the front lines. In fact, in its history, no Starfleet hospital ship has ever intentionally returned to a field of battle, much less engaged in action, until now. In recognition of his unconventional and successful tactics in the battle to retake Kelleron 6, Starfleet Tactical is proud to present Commander Stuart Karsten with the Karagite Order of Tactics.
Thank you, sir.
Lieutenant Cato and Centurion Rulock step forward. In recognition of your efforts in the face of great personal risk to restore power to the Kelleron 6 solar shield generator, buying time for the medical teams on the planet to develop a cure and save over 150 lives, Starfleet Command is also proud to present you its Award for Valor. I would note that this is the highest award ever presented to a Romulan officer by Starfleet Command.
Thank you, Captain.
Also, I do have one more presentation for Mr. Cato. To all who shall see these presents, greetings. Know ye that Starfleet Command, reposing special trust and confidence in the loyalty, courage, and good conduct of Kenneth Cato, does hereby promote him to the grade of Lieutenant Commander. Said appointment to take effect immediately. Congratulations, Commander.
I don't know what to say. Thank you, sir.
Finally, we come to Dr. Lucas Noah. Dr. Noah was a key member of Dr. Henglaar's training program over the past year. By all accounts, he was neither an ideal officer nor an ideal physician. And again, those are standards that many of us strive to achieve and few manage to attain. None of us is perfect. What does matter is what we do with the time we're given. In the end, he risked his life to save over 150 of his colleagues and allies. May each to question his wisdom and methods in doing so, but we will not do so at these proceedings. In recognition of his sacrifice, Starfleet Command is honored to posthumously present Dr. Lucas Noah with the Christopher Pike Medal of Valor. In accordance with his final wishes, we will now launch Dr. Lucas's coffin into orbit. Chief.
Honors!
We commend the soul of our brother departed, and we commit his body to the depths of space. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
One Raktajino and a White Russian.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Henglaar. I was wondering, would it be possible for me to stay aboard the Cole for a while? I'd like to help tend to the remainder of Lucas's final arrangements.
As long as Captain Ter and Commander Karsten agree to it, I don't see it being a problem.
Would you mind coming with me, sir? They're just over there.
Very well.
Of course, I'm very honored, sir. And I can't think of a better way to honor Lucas' memory. Still, I'm not sure I'm ready to be a CMO just yet.
I don't know, Profto. You've proven yourself a number of times over the past year. I think you're as ready as you're ever going to be.
Come on, Profto. Lucas has always spoke well of you. And having taken a look at your personnel record, you'd definitely be a step up from Hoberstadt. I'm glad he's being transferred to the Avenger. Maybe some time with Starfleet intelligence will cure him of the drama that seems to follow him around.
Ah, Henglaar!
What are you three scheming about over here?
Captain Ter just offered me the CMO slot on the T'Pau.
Oh, really now?
I hope you don't mind, Doctor. My CMO just got reassigned and I wanted someone from your team to replace him. Truth be told, Lucas would have been my first choice, but Profto here is definitely a good candidate for the job.
I'm surprised you wouldn't ask Dr. Vonis.
Let's just say after my last visit to the Cole, Dr. Vonis and I are a bit too close for my comfort. How are you holding up, Casey?
I'm fine, sir. I was just talking to Dr. Henglaar here about staying on the Cole for a while, tending to Lucas's final arrangements.
You certainly have enough leave time built up. I don't see a problem with that.
Thank you, sir.
Well, now I'm losing 2 doctors, at least for a while. Let me make a proposal. Profto, come over to the T'Pau for a little while. Acting CMO. Detached duty. If it works out for you, we'll start the paperwork for a permanent transfer. If it doesn't, you can always come back to the Cole or wherever Starfleet Medical sends you next.
Well...
You might as well, Profto. You graduated the program and things are likely to be quiet around here until we get back to the Alpha Quadrant.
Well, when you put it like that... I accept your proposal, Captain Ter.
Good man, Profto. Good man.
Congratulations, Rulok. And to you, Commander. Given what you and I have been through, I really think you can call me Ken. All right. Ken. So, did your case of Rami and Nail survive the battle? You did indeed. It would have been a shame for it to have gone to waste. Agreed. As I recall, we had an arrangement. Should we survive because of your human luck? That you and I would split it. Yes. Although I doubt I would be allowed onto Deck 5 in order to share it with you in your quarters. True, although there's nothing saying that I can't come to your quarters. And while we're at it, you can tell me all about why you chose to leave the family business and become a soldier. Indeed. Are you sure you don't wish to remain longer? Yeah. Everyone here's given me their congratulations. And to be totally honest, after the last few days, I could use a stronger drink than what the bartender keeps behind the bar there. Follow me then.
So you're probably right. I was invading your turf. Maybe I was taking you for granted. Maybe I just have a problem separating Henglaar the Starfleet doctor from Henglaar the man. Not really sure. All I do know is that my life is more interesting with you in it. And that's a good thing. So let's make a deal. I promise that I won't barge into your office anymore if you promise not to growl at me quite so much. At least, not when we're in public. I'll send you another message once I reach the Unroth system. Hopefully, I'll hear from you before then. Dana out.
And you're certain he never received this message?
Yes, Commander. The Durable was out of position to contact the Cole after the cargo transfer, and asked us to relay the message before she left the system.
Excellent. I'll tend to it personally. You're dismissed. Computer, delete this message and any log entries associated with it. I warned you, Henglaar.
Come in.
Hello, Uncle.
What could you possibly want?
I wanted to check in on you. You left the reception pretty quickly.
I prefer to get drunk in private, thank you very much.
I see. A whole pot of Roctigino.
I got tired of going to the replicator every 10 minutes.
Fair enough. Beating yourself up about what happened to Lucas?
I really don't want to get into it right now.
If you don't talk to me about it, who are you going to? Commander Mio?
Where do you want me to begin, Salon? Lucas is dead, under my command. Profto's 1 foot out the door playing CMO on the T'Pau. Starfleet Medical put the damn training program on hold. I'm a mere mortal again. It sucks. And what's worse, all I have to look forward to over the coming weeks is a voyage of the damned with you, Stu and Vaughnus.
Don't sound so enthused about that last one. You'll have time to work on your bowling game. Wait a sec. What about Dana?
What about her?
Well, you two seem to be hitting it off.
Best I can tell, that's in the past tense. Her ship left yesterday for the Romulan nether regions without so much as a goodbye.
I warned you about growling so much at her.
In case you've forgotten, niece, I'm a Tellarite. Vulcans are logical. Ferengi get distracted by shiny things. Tellarites argue. Like you're doing right now. Usually when someone breaks up with me, they have the common decency to tell me. Or at least throw a potted plant or two in my general direction.
Are you sure it's over between you two?
Salon, I've been around a hell of a lot longer than you have, and had more wives than you could possibly care about. People I get close to have a tendency to go away. Next thing you know, you'll be trying to give me medical advice.
Uncle, I'm just trying to help.
And I appreciate it.
Then let me help.
Right now, I'd just like to drink my Ractigino and wallow around in a mud bath. Alone.
Go to bed, Uncle. I'll see you in the morning.
As if I can sleep.
This episode featured the vocal talents of
Rick Pike as Commander Stu Karsten, Scott Fack as Lieutenant Commander Ken Cato, Michael Harding as Chief Petty Officer Paul Lindquist, Scott Butler as Fleet Captain David McKay, Will Dees as Centurion Rulock, Casey Jones as Lieutenant Commander Andrus Mio and Centurion Tilleron, Brittany Purr as Lieutenant Shalev, Tammy Klein as Sub-Commander Nonia, Anastasia Rourke as Dr. Casey Daniels, Stephen Rimpici as Captain Rhaegar Tyr and Romulan Communications Officer, Alex Matthews as Lieutenant Braylon Beix, Chris Ryan as Ensign Davies, Andrew Foster as Cole Computer Voice, Elise Jackson as Lieutenant Isabel Miranda, Jeremy Lin as Sub-Lieutenant Quintius, David W. Hill as Crewman Ian David and Admiral Kalkeen, Yen Bin Lee as Romulan Tactical Officer, Elisa Elliott as Cole Operations Officer, Bodo Hartwig as Lieutenant Commander Celatek, Baron Dixon as Server, with special guest stars Michael McConaughey as Commander Vrelick and Melody M. Spivak as Captain Dana Russell. Series based on Star Trek, created by Gene Roddenberry, and Star Trek Hidden Frontier, created by Rob Caves. Series inspired by House MD, created by David Shore. Theme and original score by Wendell Jones. Editor and audio engineer, David W. Hill. Casting director and associate producer, Kestra Oliver. Medical advisors, Pharrell Pearson, MD, Sean Paul Teeling, and Ariel Vitale, MD. Technical consultant, Jonathan Connor. Producers, Mark Painter and Alex Matthews. Executive producers, Rob Caves and David W. Hill. This is Matt Weller. Henglaar MD is a Hidden Frontier production. Join us on Facebook at facebook.com/HenglaarMD.